I feel that this year I'll only tell you by the end of it, if you know what I mean. Like, it's kind of, I couldn't...
It's foresight.
If it's,
I'll let you know at the end of the year.
That's it.
My thoughts on next year, I'll let you know at the end of the year.
I told you so. Let's bang on.
Hello, and welcome to the Outside Crowd podcast. It's our first one back since the new year, so happy 2025 to everyone. JB unfortunately is not here today because he's gallivanting once again in Wales. So
watch out, sheep.
Yeah, shagging sheep. And it's just me, hello, Ryan,
Yo.
and we've got Leigh here from Jackson's Fencing.
Hello.
So we're going to be asking Leigh a couple of questions about what he does in the company, his thoughts on how next year's going to go, and the general running of things, and just general questions around fencing and running companies and how that all works. So I think first of all, Leigh, if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself and what it is you do and how you got into it, and yeah.
Yeah, so I'm Leigh Barnes from Jackson's Fencing. We're a premium longevity luxury brand in the fencing and gates market. Been going a long time. Been going since 1947. We're still a family-run business, which is good. Gives us flexibility and agility, as well as sticking to what we live by. You know, we make products with care to last for life. So, we've become quite sizable now. We're based in Kent in the southeast, but we cover the whole of the UK in terms of delivery network. We've got a approved installer scheme as well, which covers the whole of the UK. Working with about 260 businesses similar to yourselves, as well as export. We've got an export market as well, so we've got a team that works in France and worldwide.
Works in France?
Yeah.
Oh, how does that work? Is it a separate company?
Exactly the same name, same company. So
right.
we've got four people that work in France.
Okay.
Same product, so it's all collection basis. So we'll get it ready for export, packed. So we have trucks in, week out to collect.
Oh, wow.
And then, distribute it out in France.
Okay, and so as a company, what does Jackson's Fencing do? I understand the name fencing. I mean, you might think you just do fencing, but what does it encompass? A lot of things, or is it just installing materials? Or?
So we are a manufacturer. So
Okay.
we import all of the raw materials, or bring it in if it's homegrown. Two sides of the business. So half of it is timber. That's where we originated, selling domestic fencing, timber panels, posts, that sort of thing. Our uniqueness is the 25-year guarantee. So we guarantee the product to last 25 years. So in a very small chance it does fail, we'll replace that product for free.
Is that only by an approved?
No.
No.
Nope. So it's the product that's covered, nothing to do with labour.
Okay.
So if you just buy it on our website, 18 years down the line you get a failed post and it's rot, then we'd replace that for free.
That's mad.
That's brilliant. That's great. That's wonderful. Yeah.
It's not easy to do. You've got to select the right timber, so we pay a lot for it. So inherently our value is in line with that. But it gives us that market leading edge. The biggest thing it gives is the confidence to end users. Is not everyone can afford to have it done in 3 years, 5 years again. Everything goes up. Nothing ever comes down. So by the time you get to that cycle, you might have replaced it 3 to 4 times. It's a big investment up front with us. But over the long haul, it's cheaper and less stressful.
We do it once and do it right. Like it's and the thing is, I guess, from my perspective as a landscaping company, the products we want to use and we can stand by. So we stand by our work. The last thing that that call back on a product that's failed. Now it doesn't have anything to do with how it was put in. It was the product we want to stand by as well. So it's lovely to hear that that 25-year guarantee. It's not only can we stand by our work, but we can stand by our material that goes in.
Yeah, so, it's a good selling point for you guys as well. On the contractor side of things.
Yeah. I wish Still and Husqvarna would offer a 25-year warranty. It's breaking all the time. But that's a massive selling point, isn't it?
It's a massive selling point.
And also, like, I suppose for an installer, if they're also saying, well, this is where we get our supplies from, and it comes with a 25-year guarantee, that's an amazing thing to be able to offer.
Yeah. And for us, it is a easy non-quibble. We don't overcomplicate it with loads of paperwork or T's and C's. It's just, is it used for the intended purpose? Is it a post? do an offence post.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And if it's
Is
gone
it
wrong,
supposed to
it's
be
gone
up that way?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be that way. Yeah. That's nice.
You are the retail sales manager, is that right?
I am.
Well, what does that entail?
Selling to retail.
Okay, that's the end of the podcast.
So yeah, done. No, so for me, my team, we got about 12 of us. All of us are based in the South East. Mix of some on site, some in a collection store, like a shop, like a normal merchant sort of setup, and the rest of them work from home. Selling fencing. So the biggest thing for us is handling the inbound inquiries, because we are quite lucky we've been around that long. The website is a decent attraction for inbound. So as well as our approved installer network is a huge proportion of the retail side of the business, a good 40% plus.
Wow.
And that's repeat business. So, and the best thing for us is wherever them little brass badges are, people are going to buy. So it's, yes, they do have a cost, but it's almost free marketing.
Yeah, that's
Because
true.
most conversations that I listen to when we're reviewing our calls and seeing how we can improve in the team is, I've been out walking a dog, I've seen your badge on a fence. So I took a photo of the number and I'm ringing you.
Yeah.
And like, especially for our approved installers, you start to notice that they'll deliver on a particular road, number 1.
Yeah.
A month later, we've got number 2.
Yeah.
A month later, we've got number 5.
That's
Trickling on the work. And then you start to see how that implodes around the local areas. Because there's some places in Scotland I've never been. I know that address. And then I'll go into the system, put the postcode in, and we've done 40 jobs in there over the last 20 years.
Oh, wow.
And it's, that's why I remember it, because we've done 2 or 3 in the
Yeah,
last year.
That's
Well,
cool.
so it's national then?
National, yeah.
Okay.
We're in Scotland every
Yeah.
week. So down to Cornwall. They are trickier because we can't be super friendly, quick, like we can closer to home. Like, it would be lovely if all of our work was on our doorstep. But as we've grown, we've had to expand logistics, and big logistics team. We've got a lot of drivers, a lot of trucks.
Yeah. To just give us an idea of the scale of the company, how many employees is it, and how?
So we're pushing about 300 of us now.
Okay.
Work for the company, and then we're split between 3 sites. So pretty much everything happens at our headquarters in Kent, in Ashford, or near Ashford. I thought it was in Ashford when I first joined. It's not. It's kind of similar to this. It's out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Close to Canterbury, I think.
Okay.
And then we've got a manufacturing site down in Bath,
Yeah.
with a sales office, and a sales office in Chester.
Okay.
But all of the deliveries come out of Kent.
Okay.
So sometimes when people say, I want it within the hour, we're like, that's fine. We'll leave now. We'll be with you in 9 hours.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I cannot get it to any faster. I'd
'Cause
love to.
You're in
But
Manchester.
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So in terms of sales, is it outbound stuff, or is it mainly just you dealing with stuff that comes in?
Mix of both.
Okay.
I mean, outbound for all of us, we're seasonal. So
Yeah.
second you hit November, December, it's training time.
Yeah.
Who do we need for next year?
Nice. Yeah.
Who do we not need for next year? Where is our next year's supply of work going to come from? Because you can always do better. Like, no matter how hard it is and how much you've got to deal with, you can always find new people with money that are desperate to spend with you.
And do you think like a lot of the work comes off the back of the fact that you guys have just been going for so long, or is there a real push for marketing? And
Hugely, I think a lot of it is most people have heard of us.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a product or you're in the industry, so that is a huge sort of product of our success. But the main thing is that guarantee.
Yeah.
Like, no one else has got it that's worth talking about.
Yeah.
And I mean that with love and respect. Like, there's so many that
course,
would be
yeah.
like, "Oh, did you install it on a Tuesday?" That doesn't count. Was it raining when they installed it? We don't get into all of that.
Yeah.
If you ring us up, if we've got a close relationship with you, it'll just tell us. Like, we need some sort of evidence that, just ping us a photo.
Yeah.
WhatsApp, email, smoke signal, pigeon.
Yeah.
As soon as we see the rot, we're like, there's no answer in that. Like,
Yeah.
But then we want to know what went wrong.
And that's
So-
that's how you grow if you fix the thing. Yeah.
But it's quick and easy for us. We log every single order by address or an order number, something, so that we know, hold on, right, let's review that batch.
Yeah.
Have we got another one?
Yes. Yeah. That's that's nice.
So we go looking like that. And luckily, you go looking, and it doesn't take long to look, because you're like, no, it's fairly isolated. And nothing is infallible or imperfect, but it is so restricted. Like, it is genuinely, if you ring me up and say one's gone in 5 years, I'll genuinely be quite shocked. I'm like,
Yeah.
what did happen?
Yeah.
And when the time comes, it probably will come, someone will say, look, I've done 100 posts, 99 have gone. yeah, let's get that tested. Let's test the chemical. Let's find out, did we do something wrong? Was the chemical wrong? Was the timber not right?
Yeah.
But we've been doing it long enough that we've had them small mistakes, and compounding over time, you learn from it.
Yeah, also, do you
get
just
better?
put that down, like the fact that you're able to offer a 25-year warranty? Do you think that you put that down to the fact that you've just very carefully selected everything that you use and
Yeah, we do.
just stringently?
We are super strict. And
Like, for example, like the wood that you would get, you know, for fence posts and panels.
Timber. Timber's what you work with, and wood's what you play in,
Of
man.
course, I'm used to doing it.
yeah, we got the detail
I deal
man.
with it before, and then it becomes timber once it's on the ground.
And he comes back for this
Yeah,
experience
yeah.
repeatedly.
We just call it material. Like, we'll say, oh, there's a lot of material on that, you know? Especially if it's going to be used for something else.
I can get nice and boring about
And
timber
Oh,
or
but-
wood.
oh yeah, yeah,
Or
yeah.
if it's being turned into firewood, then it's wood.
Yeah, and we do when it goes wrong.
Yeah.
And then that powers our kilns, and it's
Oh,
keeps us
nice.
sustainable.
Where's it all coming from? Europe? Or?
So quite a few different places. The main product for us for anything that goes in the ground comes from Central America.
Okay.
Yes, we split it if it's depending on the job it's got to do. If it's going in the ground, it's got to last. So there's got to be
Central America.
certain molecular structures in it that make it easy to treat and to treat well. So when you cut our product, most of it, all the sapwood's going to have the treatment. Very, very rarely you're going to get that typical lower end sort of timber merchant just splash around the edge, because it's not designed to perform outdoors or in the ground. It's designed to be a floor joist or a roof joist.
Yeah,
And it's going to be covered. It's going to be
That's
it's
it.
out of the elements.
Yeah, that's
Is you
right.
worried? Are you worried at all about Donald slapping on some big tariffs onto timber coming over from America?
No,
No,
that'll be fine.
not something he's going to do.
No.
He's gone with some speed dial.
Yeah. Donald is me.
I'm talking to him next week.
Yeah, fair enough.
But genuinely, yeah, there are concerns sometimes, and we've got this going on with Ukraine for the last few years.
Yeah.
A lot of our bollard material come from there, and in places of a similar climate around there, it's impossible, and likely so. Like that, they're suffering more than we are.
Yeah, absolutely.
They need that stock to replenish their country and people's lives. So, and that's hard to explain sometimes. Well, why can't you get it?
Yeah.
It's like, well,
there's
turn on the
yeah.
news, will you?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just for a minute, yeah.
And also, I think if you explain that to people, sometimes they think it's a bit of hearsay and blah blah blah, don't they? Or just
Yeah,
a
they
bit
do, and they're
difficult.
sort of, well, you're going to have it next week. I'm like,
I'll ring Putin and ask him.
It's coming from Ukraine, buddy.
Yeah, I think we're talking decades. And for us, we do look for alternatives constantly, day in, day out. We will spend lots of money on stuff that we think, well, at least we can buy it. Let's try it. But how then do we say to you guys that product you had that used to be £8 or £9 is now 45, 50?
Yeah,
It just doesn't work. So there are certain things we've had to suffer and just say, look, we'd love to supply it, but we can't. Move on. What else can we do?
But I like that it's like we can't supply it rather than we will, and it's not as good. It's like we can't, and I like that.
And that is our whole ethos. And we've tested it. We've tested it stringently. It just doesn't work. But the stuff that could work will be significant grades above what its intended use. It might be used to make a piano case.
Yeah, and
It just doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not economic. Doesn't scale right. Yeah, and we will not do anything. We can't look you in the eye and say you'll be fine. Do it. It'll work.
On the whole market thing, and we were speaking a little bit about this off mic. This year coming, 2025, you were saying that you're not feeling as optimistic as everyone else seems to be about it. What's your thoughts on how this year is going to go?
I don't remember saying that.
No,
that was an off the cuff. I feel like, and I said this to you both, like I feel like I'm a bit more sceptical, and I've been like this since the end of last year. A bit more sceptical for this year than most other people I talk to. Like, I don't know what you guys are feeling like.
I think it's interesting. I think this year will tell. I think for me, I'm not at the moment. I'm a bit like it could go either way. There's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot happening, but I feel that this year I'll only tell you by the end of it, if you know what I mean. Like it's kind of I couldn't.
Good foresight.
If it's,
I'll let you know at the end of the year. My thoughts on next year. I'll let you know at the end of the year.
I told you so. Let's bang it on. Hold on, let me just read the data. Yeah, that's good. No, and there's parts of me that got this optimism because I've been hammering my team, and I think they're getting a little bit bored and a little bit sick and tired of me. Like I'm on their case. Like,
Yeah.
ringing. What are they up to? What are you doing? And they're like, I don't know what they're up to. Ring him. Ring him
Yeah,
now.
find out.
Let's
Yeah.
ring him together. Get him on FaceTime.
Yeah.
Right. I want to see how he's doing.
Nice.
How she's doing.
Yeah.
But I enjoy being wrong
Yeah.
because things are okay. But we've got to sustain that. Right?
Yeah.
We've had some unexpected successes and very early doors, and you think, well, yeah, if it's going to happen, we'll take it. We'll get it made. We'll get it delivered. And there's always going to be somebody out there, the last person with the last pound. You just got to find them.
God, I know that about last year. I know that one.
Mm.
I know that one. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I suppose you have to just be flexible, don't you? And if you're looking at an economy that is struggling, although they are saying that it is improving, and by the end of the year we should be somewhat.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, we'll ask Ryan at the end of the year. I forgot what I was saying.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Market.
Oh no.
Being flexible.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So to be, you want to be flexible to see, if you're in a struggling economy, what you can be doing to other than what you're already doing in terms of like the services that you provide, the way that you're marketing, and I think if you can be clever with that, then I think you should be able to keep your head above water at least, and at least maintain what you're currently doing. I think it might be. I mean, like personally, and I'm sure for you as well. I don't know about you guys, but like we're obviously small companies and.
Speak for yourself.
I'm excited about 2025, and
Yeah.
I'm looking at growth. Yeah, like trying to get more teams and get bigger work, but then also I've noticed that the way we acquire work and the type of work we're looking for has changed, and like the lower end of the market, I don't even get a look in anymore. Like we can't be cheap. Before I could do these smaller jobs and you'd win them, and we just don't anymore.
And is that you get the inquiry, but they don't convert at the lower end?
Yeah,
Or
you get the
people aren't coming
inquiry.
to you 'cause they've got
I think the
perceived-
inquiry comes in because a lot of the time,
Yeah.
and it's probably the same as fencing and landscaping, people don't have a clue, and especially if it's their first time, how much these things cost. Like, there's lots of repeat customers who I'll say, this is the price for doing this, and it may be a similar job as we did for them 2 years ago, and they understand that there's increases in costs across the board. Like diesels are more expensive, chainsaws are more expensive, maintenance is more expensive, wages are more expensive, insurance, everything's gone up. So they can understand that. But if you're going to someone who's never had any tree work done, who's moved into a house for the first time with a tree in it,
Yeah.
they've never had before, and they want it reduced because they want some more lighting. The same as if they need new fencing because they've moved into a house where it's all fallen over, and you say to them, "Oh, it's going to be $3,000 to do that." They might not have $3,000. They might go, bloody hell, I have no idea.
One panel.
Yeah, but for fencing, so I've seen prices of fencing. It's crazy sometimes, but people have no idea.
It's being, isn't it? It's being informative. It is. It's giving that bit of guideline, being like that. This is what you're looking at for that type of material. That's what you're looking at. It is being informative in the first instance with people.
It is, and also just sort of being ears and eyes open to their reactions and what's important to them.
Mhm.
Do they need to spend that $3,000?
That's right.
Is there another option?
Yeah.
And I'm more. I love optimization. I love things being the best it can be.
Yeah,
I'm not particularly like a materialistic snob, but I am a performance snob,
yeah,
which naturally makes me enjoy working for the company I do.
yeah,
But yeah, you got to look at what do they need. Do they need a £500 solution or a $3,000 solution?
Yeah.
Do they need a $10,000 solution?
That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
And yeah,
That's
It's-
it.
yeah. If you're informative and you can give them a selection of options that they can, they can. Well, just give them the information that they need. Yeah,
and then they can work with it.
yeah.
I think, like you said, it is. I like that. When I'm looking at a project, I'll go in and they go, "We just want you to do this." I'm like, "Okay, well, what else do you want?" They were like, "No, we just want you to do this." I'm like, "Okay, what else are you doing in the garden without us?" And I'm just. It's not because we want to do all the work, sure, but the reason I'm asking is because I've got experience in this field, so I want to make sure that what you're doing here will tie in with all of that. And not only that, if you're going to say, you're taking this, there is actually nicer topsoil in this place, and we're doing a raised bed over there. It's like, well, I don't want to take the soil away from you. I don't want to take the microbes out of the garden. So it's like, well, actually, that's actually going to make the job cheaper, being able to stockpile that soil over there, ready for that project that I don't know, your son's coming back for uni and he's going to build a few raised beds, whatever, But it's just having that information to be like you said, it's. What do you need? What can I get? What can I give you? What can I get for you?
What do they want out of it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. That's right.
On that, how is Jackson's pushing for work? Like, are they doing anything different, anything new, or is it just, I feel like a whole marketing team, or what's...
So for us, it's probably like a sequence of micro tweaks, because we've got so many systems and so much data over the years now that I think it would kind of be distracting for us to go, let's start also selling a named decking product or something else. It's just about thinking what worked. Let's do more of the same. Let's look back at what didn't work. Let's try and fix those things. So in terms of new business for us, we constantly have to look at weather. Mm-hmm. It's a big thing. Local economies, because that has a big impact. Like, for us, being a leading luxury brand in our space, mm-hmm. some of the most affluent places in the UK do not spend with us whatsoever. Why? Look at the geographical landscapes. Take somewhere like Sandybanks. How many fences are there? None. How many masonry white rendered walls are there? Loads.
Right.
So stuff like that where you think, let's get down there. Should we open a shop down there? Should we get some installers down there? And you're like, why doesn't it work down there? And you quickly go, well, actually,
don't need them.
There's no fences.
Yeah.
And sort of big places like I like to holiday with my wife and kids in the New Forest every year, a couple of times a year, hopefully. And I go down there and I'm like, big properties, but they've all got natural green boundaries.
Yeah.
Don't need a fence.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, yeah, fair enough.
That makes sense.
Fair enough. So yeah, slightly different for us, especially when you scale it up. But online presence is a big thing.
Yeah.
And something I think is really important talking to installers as well is, I think gone are the times where you are super lucky now to start a new business and get good growth, or go from like a plateaued stagnation place to, right, I want to put some money back in the company, I really want to grow, without having some sort of social media, a decent website, Google reviews, Trustpilot.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's it.
And you generally find the better, even if it's just pulling people to your business like a magnet, and then you might be too expensive, you might be too busy, lead time's out, or you just don't do the sort of work that they need. At least that is pulling it to you.
Yeah, they know the name.
And for us, same sort of stuff. SEOs. Every time someone searches anything to do with a gate or a fence, we are trying to be in that top 3 spots. Mm-hmm. And quite luckily, we are in a lot of places.
Tell you what I wanted to ask. When I saw you guys at the trade show, you guys had the solar panels.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask about that and how and when did that start and how that's going and what your feedback is on that.
So that started mid last year, and my personal feedback on it, from my perspective, is frustrating.
Okay.
The technology is amazing. The interest has been overwhelming. Mm-hmm. Converting that to sales has been really poor.
Really?
Really poor. And I think a lot of the thing, I was talking about the owner with this the other week, is that a lot of those considerations are quite project based. So when you get the quote in, it's not for next week or next month. It might be for 6 months, 12 months down the line. What you were saying earlier on about, you might have other things going on in the job, what you're doing here and there.
Yeah.
Like, it's got to fold in with that.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest bit about it is, I think if you compare it to just a standard roof install, product alone seems a percentage a bit more expensive. The second you combine that with having just a landscaping project done, so if you haven't landscaping done, fences going up anyway, you fold our product into that with the solar ready to go, you've only then got one other contractor in who's going to do the electrical connection. And then you've saved loads of money because you haven't got separate trades, you haven't got a scaffolder and you haven't got a roofer in.
Yeah.
And what we launched it for was...
What is it? Just a fence made of...
A fence with a solar panel.
Oh, right.
So our thoughts were, we want to try and put something innovative into our range that goes by our core ethos of saving people money over the long run. So renewables is a growing market. It's going to be mandatory. It's growing in terms of mandatory.
Yeah.
And so remember where your roof might not be accessible, might not be facing the right direction. Fixing to your roof might not be great. You might have a listed building where you can't.
Yeah.
Where's your next best massive space, which will be your boundaries on your fence lines. And invariably, people position their gardens in a sensible way to get a lot of sun.
That's it, yeah.
So Yeah, we've tested it. We've had them on site for us. They work well. It's confidence. I think it's about getting people comfortable with it. And the more keen, especially the last 6 months, I've had where people phone up and they say, "Been on your website. I've had a look. I've already got 4.5 kilowatts on my roof. I've now put a pool or a gym in the garden.
Yeah.
I want to heat it. I want to power the lights. I want to, this sort of thing." So looking at integrating it into something, say, we've already got a familiarisation with it.
Yeah.
They already know what they're getting into.
Yeah.
They know what the X, Y, and Z costs are after the fence.
Yeah.
And for us, we stop there. So we will supply adapted posts, cap and rails, and panels. So it's all daisy chained together.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're installing a fence. There is no more tech or skill required.
Mm-hmm.
You just need that electrical, an MCS registered electrical contractor to do your connection to an inverter, into batteries or back into your board in your house.
And this is only last year, was it?
Literally last year.
Well, the moment I saw it, I nearly clapped in the middle of the place, thinking, "Fair play to you," because I think it's a great idea. I really do. I think it's a great idea, and I think, like you said, that confidence is going to grow when people realise, oh, actually, hang on, we're like you said, the new office down the bottom of the garden, we're fencing that off anyway. It's like, hang on a minute, they could tie in together. So, well, I hope it gets a lot of traction, because it'd be nice to see.
And I think the same day, literally, like 10 minutes before we met you, I met a guy called Will who owns a spa company, like hot tubs and swimming pools. Talking to him about a bit of the tech behind the panels and stuff, and he was just blown away with. So if we put one panel in, put a small air source heat pump next to it, you're going to run a 4 to 6 person hot tub.
Wow, you see, that's
almost for free.
Wow.
There you go.
So it would just be one panel.
Yeah. One panel, 425 watt. If it's bright and sunny for 12 hours a day, maximum 425 watt.
But the thing is, that having a hot tub somewhere, you will screen it off. With
a little shelter.
You do, and for me, the moment I saw it, that's exactly where I saw it. I just went, oh my god, like that's exactly what.
I'm blown away with technical curiosity naturally. And I know it works.
Yeah.
Now I just want to see it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I want
to see it out there.
That's
I want to see people enjoying it. I want to see those first few posts where people are like, if we get one of these young influencer types, it's like, been down to Jackson's, I've got a solar panel.
Yeah, that's it.
I've got this Jackson thing. And the same again, 25-year guarantee. We've incorporated that in, so we made sure we've used a panel manufacturer that can reflect our values. Mm-hmm. So it's the same. So we haven't got this. Your posts are fine for 25 years. You might get 8 months out of it. No, it's 25 years. We've continued it.
Brilliant.
Hopefully it works. Similar to another different one. Same display we had at Futurescape was our acoustic barriers.
That was my next question, because I'm installing that on a project. I'm actually installing it for a project that you got for us, Bill, soon, and I'm very excited about that, because being able to communicate to a client about the busy road. It's not a busy road. The hedge is now grown too far, and it's like, I've got something, and it's like we can use the acoustic fencing that's going to just change their whole home, like being able to be in the garden, not listening to that. I'm really.
Have you put one up yet?
I haven't. Not yet.
It's really exciting.
Yeah, it is. It really is. It really is. I mean, it is. I've priced for them before. We haven't managed to be able to get one in, but I'm really looking forward to it.
I think you'll enjoy the flexibility and the speed it gives as well.
Yeah, I can see the.
I think a lot of people pedestal it in terms of it's an engineered product, it's specified, and it comes with this daunting. It's got to perform. All of it's got to perform is down to us building it, manufacturing the components right, and the sound engineers doing the report right to tell us what we need to do height wise and thickness wise. So if you guys are installing it, it's posts and boards.
Oh, that's what I see it. I know that's what I see it as. And the thing is, and do you know what? I like the fact that, because I guess there's another question as well. What style of fence is the most sold and stuff like that? For me, I'm thinking it's a solid looking fence, and it's a lovely looking fence.
It's 34 mil thick.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. For me, it just gives that such a I really like the style. I really like the look of it, and I think that it's when you think I've got a soundproofing wall, you some people think it's like, well, hang on a minute. Actually, this is a lovely fence line.
Yeah, and it does change that enjoyment factor, as well as like a due diligence side of it. If you're putting a commercial structure in and
Yeah,
you're going to be creating a lot of noise, you can keep that in.
That's yes,
Like
that's right.
You see it a lot, and you'll probably start to spot it after conversations like this and installing it in places like supermarket loading bays,
Yeah,
where you can keep the noise in as well. Air source heat pumps. We're getting a lot of tiny inquiries for small boxes because the neighbours have put up this horrible
that's
thing.
it.
And
Yeah,
I want to suggest to them how to block it in. Does very, very well.
Yeah.
In both retail, like domestic customers for
Yeah.
their gardens and commercial projects.
that was the two questions I wanted to ask you. One was the solar, and one was the acoustic fencing. And I guess the other one was, you know, what style of fencing do you mostly sell? You know, what goes off the shelf?
So for us, we've got a product tongue and groove effect.
Yeah.
So nicely it can work horizontally and vertically. So you've got two different design aspects that will work with different designs. You're slatted. is hugely fashionable at the moment.
Yep.
So we do Venetian. We do two sectors to it. We do a framed Venetian, which is single slat, so you can see through. Allows the wind and the daylight through.
The hit miss.
So and then we do the hit and miss.
Yeah.
So you get much more obscure privacy.
Yeah. But it still allows that wind to go through
that air and that light. So if you're somewhere that's particularly high wind exposed, it's going to give you that flex.
That's it.
With that superior attractiveness as well. And the same as if you're not particularly friendly with neighbours or you don't want to be seen, you haven't got
That's
it.
it. Yeah. Go in your boxes.
I just had a question for you. Just talking about renewables and the materials that you use and where you get them from.
Yeah.
Are you guys like responsibly sourcing it? How does that like work?
We have to be, and I think everyone has to be and should be.
Right.
And what does that mean?
So for us, we have to buy through certain schemes, PFC, FSC, to look after forest sustainability.
And are they like commercial forests? They're not. It's not taking old growth woodland down, is it?
No, so we will buy through those schemes and forestries and sawmills that also attribute to those schemes, as well as having minimum sort of tree growth expectations in terms of age. So certain products we use will take from trees at a minimum of 80 years plus old.
Yeah.
So it's done that, it's carbon cycling, it's oxygen performance. And they've been managed properly. So there are places that it can be over-forested. You need to get rid of the certain population to allow the space and the light for new trees to grow.
Well, you can see in some commercial forests, like they have, like when they're just trying to just grow as quick, like lots of larch, but they're trying to grow as quickly as possible. And I saw a picture the other day of like the growth rings on some old growth forests, and like they're so tightly together and they're growing very slowly, but they're incredibly strong. And some of those new ones, the growth rings like that far apart from each other, and it's just very weak. It makes for a very weak material.
Yeah, it does. And there is a time and a place for it. For quick turnaround.
Yeah, your balsa wood RMT lessons.
It doesn't come in hand in hand.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That's when you're using it, man. That stuff that just goes whoo.
And
Floats up,
for what the lifetime and the performance expectations are. And for us, it needs to look good and it needs to last.
Yeah.
So, yes, we are buying low and slow. Or cold and slow.
Cold and slow.
Cold and slow. And sometimes it can surprise you, climate-wise, where things come from and how it grows. And different species will give you different performance.
Densities as well, yeah. I think we are coming close to near the end, but I did want to ask you a question about the approved installers, like how, like accredited. Is it like an accreditation?
Yeah, it is. So
how does it work, and what does it do for you? And
so for us, it gives us an expanse of when we stopped doing the domestic installs 12 to 14 years ago ish. We were rapidly growing, and then we would quote Mrs. Miggins in Liverpool to fit a gate, £200 for a gate and £1,000 to install it, when she could get it installed for 10 times less. So we thought, well, how do we still be Jackson's Fencing, still provide a local family, run feel, but give them the affordability from the end user paying for it. So we launched the Approved Installer Network, where we've got a couple of approved installer managers that cover the whole of the UK. So they will go, if you show an interest, or you order with me for the first time, and I'll go, Ryan, have you heard about our scheme? Would you like to be interested? So two guys, Chris and John, they'll come round, have a chat with you. They'll meet up. They'll have a look at your last 2 or 3 jobs, look at the quality of the installs, check out your online presence, your insurance, your business credentials as such, and see if it's a good fit for you as well. Like, because we don't want to be a national company hemorrhaging you with a load of inquiries that you can't handle. And the reality is, and we're very honest about this, is that probably won't happen. You're not going to get
So you
10
give them
inquiries
leads,
a week.
and in return, what do they give you?
a good install, confidence that it's our name on the product, it's going to be up there for 25 years weathering, then it's up there properly. But it's about what it gives the end user, what it gives the customer is the confidence of, we're not just saying, oh, met these couple of lads down the pub, lovely to have a drink with.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fencing's like.
Yeah.
It's a bit more in depth. It is well vetted. It's a strange relationship because you guys will be our customers.
Yeah, that's it.
But we're also going to be like on your case. Like, you've got to respond to an inquiry quick.
Yeah, that's
You've got to
lovely
be polite.
to hear.
You've got to be smart.
That's great.
You've got to be.
I like that. That's really good.
And for the end user, when they say, you know, I'm looking at having some stuff done, can I have a price, please? You know, we'll always ask, do you want a quote for an install, or do you just want to buy it? Have you got your own contractor in place? Invariably, they'll say yes, no, maybe. And we always say, look, it's worth having a price, because you know, by them having the attachment of our brand and how long we've been around and our ethos, that they've got similar values.
Yeah.
So, and there is a slight bit of a mediation because it's daunting for an end user. You're going to go and spend a lot of money.
That's it. Yeah.
You might have had to finance that somehow. You might have had to work hard and save up for it.
That's it. Yeah.
And they're emotional decisions.
Yeah. I couldn't agree with you more, and I think it's lovely because it's not just here's our product, see you later. It's not. It's these are the people we'd like. You know, these are the people we'd say that will trustly put it in properly, and it will be there for that lifetime. Because, like you said, you know, and Bill was saying earlier, things are expensive, and you want to do it once, and you want to do it right. And there's nothing worse than having a product, selling that product, and then suddenly something's happened. You think it's nothing to do with the product, but I feel a part of that. I am a part of that some way. I could have done something different. So it's great to hear.
It's good you've got that conscience as well.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, next time I break a fence,
Well,
which will undoubtedly be soon, I'll know where to go. Right, I think that's the end of it. But thank you very much, Leigh, for coming. I do just want to do a quick fire round with you. Nothing to do with business, but just 3 questions.
You said we'd do this in a pub.
That's another couple of questions.
About irrigation.
Just so we know a bit more about Leigh. Favourite film / TV show?
Top Gun.
Top Gun.
Oh,
which one?
First one.
Don't be silly.
I heard you're a car man. Favourite car? That's hard.
Yeah, it is hard. I'd probably say like the original BMW M1.
Ooh, okay.
I got to my mid-30s before I saw one in the flesh.
Oh, I've never seen one.
I've had a poster of it from my dad since I was a young boy.
Well, did you see it on the road or like a
No,
car
I
show?
saw it at Munich Legends.
Oh, Munich Legends.
On the way to Gatwick.
Just down the road.
And I was on a coach full of people on the stag, and I was like, stop! And I was like, is he alright? He's going to be sick. Not yet. He's had a few beers. It's like 2 a.m. And I just stood there like a kid at the window, like, looking in the window.
Yeah, Munich Legends is awesome.
Like,
because I got my car fixed there once, and I was just looking at all the stuff they've got, and they've got some amazing cars in there.
I've been lucky to have some cool BMs in the past, but now no. I've had a Mini Cooper in the garage and I think a lot of people might listen to this and take the piss. Yeah, he's probably touched that last time you saw him 10 years ago. Yeah. One day.
One day, there you go.
I bought that when I was 15.
Oh, fair.
I had to sell it because I couldn't afford to insure it when I got 17.
Yeah.
And then my wife bumped into the bloke I sold it to when I was turning 30, and she bought it back
Oh,
off.
no way.
I love those kind of
He had
stories,
done
man.
exactly the same as me.
Yeah.
He's like, do you know what? I bought it off Leigh, took it home, put it in the bar, didn't touch it.
Oh, buddy.
He's like, yeah, cool.
That's the way it goes.
Yeah, you can have it back.
Finally, favourite food?
Food. Roast dinner.
Roast dinner,
go classic.
So yeah, thanks very much for coming on. That was
It's
good.
been really enjoyable.
Enjoyed that.
Yeah, been excited about it for months.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
It's good
Cool,
to see.
man.
Good to hear.
We'll have to have you back on. So
will.
we'll say goodbye from Leigh,
Goodbye from me. Thank you.
Brian,
See you next time, guys.
and myself. See you later, guys.